Paint, that's not the right one. That's still not right. Third time's a charm. I love a good Voyager styled Shockwave, or any Shockwave in general, and I was a fan of the Cyberverse design, but didn't really vibe with the Warrior. I mean, ultimately none of the Cyberverse toys are targeted at collectors, it's all a kids line, minus maybe the deluxes, but even then they're still stripped back to make them easier for kids. And Warrior Shockwave wasn't made for someone like me. But then this one came out, and damn, it's very good for what it is. This is Ultra Class Shockwave. God, these size classes are getting confusing. And it reminds me a lot of old Voyagers. It's not built the same, and I'm going to talk about that first. You know, the deco can be seen as simple. The plastic feels like that kid's toy plastic. It's very hollow in a lot of places, and he doesn't have any elbow kinda in that other arm. I'll show you something neat in a minute. But those things I can totally see collectors complaining about. And it's kind of ugly in comparison to what we're used to. But detach it from all that, because, you know, kids toy, it looks pretty good. I really like the look of the toy. The line work is super clean, the purple's really sharp, the chest is super eye-catching, and I also love the addition of silver on this dude. It helps break up that purple. I genuinely wasn't expecting silver paint on this. One thing I also want to mention is the plastic quality. While it looks like that kid's plastic, it's by no means brittle. These kids toys like this, right, are made to be built like tanks, because kids are going to throw them at things, smash them around, all that. So you could whip this at a tree and it'd be completely fine. He is extremely posable too, and I'll touch on that more in detail in a little bit, but the amount of poses you can get out of him is great. Let me show you some, because it's just awesome. He has this cannon arm, and there's no elbow in favor of the gimmick, which springs forward this little blast effect, which is really cool. I also love the Decepticon symbol on the arm being a cutout and using the pink underneath from the missile to show the symbol. That's really cool. But now on to the best part of the whole arm situation. The arm is a cannon, but if you rotate it back and pull out the spider tank leg, it's just another arm. It doesn't have a hand, but it's still cool that the option is there, however unintentional this was, but I love it. It allows you to get him into even more poses that you wouldn't have been able to with the cannon. And you can now use the cannon as a War Machine thing, and I'll show you that a little bit more later on. There's a lot of play here, and I really like it. I'm going to walk you through the articulation because I want you to see how much this kid's toy has in it, because it's a lot. So, posing this thing is quite good. You'd think, because it's a Cyberverse toy, would be all staticky and brick-like, but, well, this arm is, but it's not. You've got a really nice, like, smooth head swivel, actually. It's quite tight, it's not loose at all. There's no ball joint, it can't go up and down, but it's Cyberverse. The shoulder's on a ball joint. It can do a full 360, go in and out. You do have a bicep rotation and an elbow bend, 90-degree elbow bend. You can also do this if you really want to. It's transformation is not necessary. This surprised me. A full 360 waist joint. This is needed for transformation, but it's still there. I like that. Hips are on ball joints too, so you can get it to go forward and back. My focus is running all over the place. There we go. And out. It can go out quite far too. You can do full splits. There's no thigh cut for a thigh swivel, but there's enough play in the ball joint to give you that thigh swivel. So that's quite nice. The knees bend more than 90 degrees right there, but the coolest thing I think about the articulation was the fact that the feet can go up and down, and he has ankle pivot. I was not expecting that when I first got this thing, but he has friggin' ankle pivot, so you can like get him in wicked poses. Like, that was easy, right? Now the cannon arm is the thing I want to talk about the most, and I've touched on this already in the video, but it's static, like it goes in and out and rotates, but it's static because it does that. Well, you can literally just take it, rotate it around, bring all this out, Get your finger in here somehow and just pull that out. Bring it around, rotate it. Come on, come on. There we go. I like to push the cannon, well, I like to tab it in first, but I like to push the cannon up above the head because I like the way that looks. But there's his second arm, and it has all the posing as the first arm, which is really cool. I do wish that just as a little Easter egg, they molded in another hand there, but as this isn't really intended to be a second arm, I get it. It's still neat though, how you can do that. And you can just, like I said, you can use this as like a War Machine type cannon where he can just fire behind him while shooting in front of him. Do I have anything that's 5mm? Here, Jolt's whip. That'll work. There you go. He can do that. It's a little heavy. Transformation is really, really simple. It doesn't do a lot, and getting that spare arm out of the side is a bit annoying, and I really wish the front section locked into place. Because the tank mode, yeah, it's pretty wonky tank mode. It's a spider tank, which in concept is cool, but the execution looks like a kid's toy alt mode. But in the end, that's fine, because that's what it's meant for. And I didn't buy this for the alt mode. I like the deluxe a lot, but I wasn't a fan of the size. In the show, they gave off this presence of being big, bulky things, and the deluxe just didn't give me that feeling. Didn't sell me on that sort of the way they were represented in the show. But here, this toy helps me feel that, except for the tank mode. The tank is very posable though. He has all the arm and leg movements, so I'm not going to go into full detail on it, but the turret does rotate and look up and down. Take that, Studio Series Brawl. I used the little deluxe as a tank drone because he had those in the show, and I feel that quite works well in a display. But all of that makes this my favorite Voyager type Shockwave to mess with. Obviously, it's not a real Voyager class, it's an Ultra, but it's the size of a Voyager, so I count it as a quote-unquote Voyager, and it's very fun. Like, you would get Studio Series Leader Shockwave, which is still just a Voyager, or Siege Shockwave, and they are really good figures, both of them. Like, I highly recommend picking up either of them. But to just pick up and fiddle with, this has been the Shockwave that I do that the most with, and that's why I like it so much. I do recommend getting one of these if you like the design, because all the stuff it does is just really cool, and it's not super expensive. I think I paid $10 for this at a Toys R Us when it came out, and you can still find these Ultras. It's a great figure, and I highly recommend picking it up. If you're a Shockwave fan, if you like the Cyberverse designs, hell, if you just want a fun and interesting desk toy to fiddle with, this is really cool. But that's my look at Ultra Class Shockwave from Cyberverse. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm going to go have a bagel, so I will see you next time. Goodbye.